welcome to the podcast, dude. Um, I'm excited to talk to you, man. And why don't you introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name is Antonio. People call me Tony. I own Astro Tactical, which is a brand I built from scratch in 2022 as a veteran founding company. And yeah, I post memes online aggressively, pushing myself on an e-commerce site.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, yeah. Tell me about the business. What you got you started and everything.
Sure. And before we get into it too, we do know each other,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So I'm a sucker for I'm a sucker for setups and studios. What's your podcast room looking like right now?
Podcast room. It's like all red. There's like 3, 4 monitors in here. We got a bunch of camera lights. We got a whole like board and everything with all the switches and like the Macs. Like there's so many buttons in here, dude. It's like it's like my own room, dude. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
it's gas, dude. Yeah. Oh man, yeah.
That's always good to do for me too, man.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's go into any questions you got for me. I'm here to
All right.
talk.
Oh yeah.
I love talking.
For sure, yeah. Um let's dive into the business, I guess. Like, what are you doing exactly? Like what are like the day-to-day operations? Like what's going on over there?
Yeah, I do a multitude of things as the only sole proprietor for the company. So I guess like my day to day looks like waking up and immediately checking e-commerce analytics. I run through all of my social media pages. I'm on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram is my biggest, and even Snapchat. So whatever I can use to push out content into people's feeds, I kind of run the business on a exposure based operation here, especially for the e-commerce side. Now I do in-person sales. I go to the machine shop and I make a product to go take to a trade show, a gun show, somewhere I can set a table down, a nice display up, and just explain to people that have never seen a force reset trigger exactly what it does, what it can do for them, and just, I guess, the benefit of adding a little bit of extra firepower to everyday weapons like AR-15s and Glocks. A lot of people, they don't really think about upgrades as something that's budget friendly. So because I'm making all my own stuff, I kind of set the price for it, and I do a lot of market research for what other people do their force reset triggers for. And ours are just a little bit different, a little bit more innovative, and we kind of just push to put the best product out there that we can.
Right, yeah. So what I'm hearing is you're making like accessories, like attachments for the guns. You're not like necessarily building the guns. So like how do you try to like differentiate yourself? Like are you trying to add new products, like more unique products? Like what's like the pitch or like what's the idea? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, for the guys especially that know what they're looking at, I always try to just push on them that, this is something that I made myself. A lot of manufacturers like to push stuff overseas, which we got a lot of laws in place, ITAR laws that kind of prevent you from just sending a bunch of gun parts to China, Indonesia, India to just get them made very cheap and shipped over. It's illegal to do so, but it does happen all the time, right? I'm very familiar with a lot of companies that are small businesses, but that some have gotten big that have either gotten caught or just currently still order their stuff overseas. So I guess a big American-made pitch is something that kind of wins over a lot of these guys that are a little bit jaded to seeing a super safety on a table. I stopped kind of trying to compete with other people that sell the exact same product once I realized that a lot of people are just loyal to brands. And I pitch myself, if anything. I sit there and I talk to you. If you were to walk up to my table and not say anything to me, most of the time a simple hi, how are you doing? How can I help you? It seems to work out. I don't need to pull you in with the product. I set up a display that's kind of a funnel for anybody walking past. We've got live videos of people shooting the product, which is usually a big attention grabber right away, right? You're hearing basically machine gun fire going off on a table, and you kind of want to see what's going on
Oh
there.
yeah, for sure,
Yeah. So, I have signs that kind of explain what you're looking at. Any kind of common question I've been asked over the 3 years I've been running is just somewhere on the table. So a lot of people don't need to say anything first before they just tell me, hey, I'll go ahead and take one, or they'll double check on pricing. I had everything up, so I'll just refer them back to it. It's better, I think, to show people something than it is to tell them anyway.
Right, exactly. Yeah. You ever get like,
And that's all I'm saying.
oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. Um, I got like, there's another question here. You ever get people who are just like very anti you, like they don't like the guns, or they're just, they're talking all that trash. You get people that are just not friendly. You ever get those type of people?
In the 3 years of running, even operating, even online, where I think people would be meanest, right? I've yet to have one bad encounter with like somebody that I think is normal. I think I've been a little bit iffy off of some people, but only because of the types of questions they ask. They'll ask for something blatantly illegal,
Oh, dang.
or if I can modify it.
Right.
Yeah, that's about the worst things I've ever been asked, or made me feel like, oh man, this guy's like, he's gonna
Oh
really,
yeah, kind of
really
like
not
if you're
like.
working in like an
But
alcoholic shop and you get some like underage dude and they try to catch you to act or something. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. And I find that it's a little bit insulting because you're not stupid, right? I don't think anybody is really that stupid. So it kind of does take me back where I go like, are you serious? But no, I have never actually had like a bad encounter. Someone comes and badmouths me to my face, anything like that. And I think part of that has to just come with just being a polite person first, and you have to show somebody a mutual respect. I think people tend to match energies pretty well in like a social setting anyway. So as long as I don't come at somebody, I never really expect someone to come
I
at me.
guess, yeah, I guess because it comes with the trade, like the guns are expensive. There's a lot of money rolling around, so there's got to be some, walk the talk. Like people got to like show class. You know what I'm saying? You're dealing with like,
There's a little bit of
yeah,
class
yeah,
going
I
in there.
gotta,
Yeah,
yeah, like
I
some
agree.
respect. Like PCs. Yeah, everyone's got the $5,000 PC. I show some class. Yeah, yeah. Everyone's got like the ARs decked out, $10,000 gun, golden chain. All that. Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Yes, I keep a lot of that premium
Uh-huh.
image in me too. We do a little bit of exotic animals. I have a little bit of side hustles and other stuff. I used to be a toy manufacturer, for instance. So I think I definitely saw some of that disrespectful nature when I was making very, very easy and cheap
Oh
toys.
yeah.
I'd have table items that were a couple bucks, up to like a giant 8 foot, 3D printed dragon. Just a huge project that I worked on, and you'll get some I guess you know looks like, oh, it's cheap stuff, isn't it? But never somebody that directly insults you. So no, even with gun stuff, you think it's a little polarizing and stuff like that. I think if you're just somebody that's genuinely trying to help somebody with an issue, even if they don't think it is an issue, I think some of these uh, really restrictive gun laws have kind of set back firearm technology a very long time. And I mean, just to get a picture in your head about it, gunpowder was invented a very long time ago. I want to say 7th century. I don't really know off the
Yeah,
top of my head,
yeah.
but we
Way
got
back in the day,
gunpowder,
yeah.
right? Huge advancement in firearm technology, right? You could
Right, yeah,
argue
like,
that.
yeah,
You have,
like,
you have barrel rifling, right? That's when people started to use bullet instead of just a black rifle smooth bore
yeah,
ball. You have that advancement. You don't have that many for firearms. I mean, then maybe you have magazine fed weapons a couple hundred years after that. And then we're at our still very basic crude weapons today. There hasn't been such an advancement on firearms. You'd think machine guns were one or anything, but it's just the sear trip. And when you really learn how they work, you're kind of like, oh yeah, we're still far behind. We have touchscreens, and in 14 years we got
yeah,
AI.
yeah.
But we've had firearms for almost 600 years, and most of them are kind of all the exact
Right,
same.
we're very primitive, right? Yeah, yeah. You ever play the game Rust? The
Yeah,
dude has the
these are.
Yoka. He's got the Yoka or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to put that into perspective. I guess that's why people aren't so negative in real life, is because they have been around for so long, and that I guess an argument about whether these things should be here kind of falls flat on its face when they've been around for almost 800 years already. It's a little difficult to put that genie back in the bottle, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you were talking about like how things are always changing, and there's like I know you're from Texas, and you said there was some sort of law going on, like HB 957 or something. Yeah,
Oh, dude, when we were talking about we would actually probably we knew each other around the same time that I was doing a lot of this research for my
yeah,
company, because I kind of just realized that uh, there's a market here because of how many people were talking to me, being relieved that Texas was kind of doing this law where right now we have the NFA, which restricts certain firearms like short barreled firearms, machine guns, and suppressors. Right? Some of them are accessories, and not even the firearm itself. So there's a lot less regulation on accessories like pistol grips and weapon sights than there are for the actual lower of the firearm, the serialized part. So it got my brain thinking like, oh, okay, so let me read up on this law. It kind of educated me through all these principles. I actually went to Ken Paxton's, the Texas AG's office, to try to learn more about the law that was being passed. It passed in 2021. So, a precursor to my company, I'm doing all of this research on a Texas law that allows people to make their own suppressor in Texas, and it would be something you did not have to register with the federal government.
oh,
Texas was
yeah,
then sued by the federal government, kind of explaining that if someone were to do this, it's still a law in Texas. The Texas law enforcement wouldn't, I guess, arrest you for having a suppressor that was made in Texas and stayed in Texas, but the federal government and federal government agencies still would. And that kind of includes your federal game wardens and ATF, IRS. Any kind of Fed that actually catch you with it, you would still get into some trouble.
right.
So it made a lot of people nervous, but not someone like me, because what I realized is if you just kind of read up on firearm laws, you literally can see exactly what you can and can't do, right?
Right, exactly.
And a lot of people like myself don't think of that. So in I went, looking at obscure firearm laws from 80 years ago to try to find if somebody can go. And I stumbled upon an FRT patent that expired a while back. And right around that time, the FRTs were just banned by the ATF. So we had these reset triggers that were really interesting. I think the first kind of pioneers for them were a wide open trigger and rare breed triggers. They kind of made this AR-15 cassette style trigger that when fired, you would have your semi-auto mode, and you could flip a switch to where when you fire, the bolt actually would come back, reset your trigger, kind of like a bump stock would, but it's internal, inside of your firearm. And you would instantly reset your trigger so you can fire again.
Oh, yeah.
And I was glued to my seat watching maybe 10 to 15 videos a day of people shooting these things. And then they get banned,
Yeah, yeah.
You have a gentleman a couple years later by the name of Hoffman Tactical that creates a much more simple design of one of these, where instead of a giant cassette trigger, it's a little drop-in, So, I mean, long story short, I started making these myself, 3D printing them, and then those were banned. But only 7 to 8 months later, the Supreme Court rules all force reset triggers are legal, bump stocks are legal. It was unconstitutionally banned. It was a huge victory. I wasted zero time, man. I started making some as quick as possible.
Getting on the hype quick, yeah. Trying to be the first one. Yeah, you're talking about like how like TikTok made everyone like a vendor, and like it's all about e-commerce, working from home. Yeah.
That's right. I had a big inspiration watching a lot of people around the same time starting up their own businesses, selling towels, selling handcrafted items. And I kind of would think to myself, like, wow, this is something that seems very, very difficult to do, but I think an end goal, something that I would want to do. I was working at a factory already, so working around manufacturing kind of puts you in a different mindset. And I kind of see things as like a consumer at the time. So I'm buying stuff at full price and slowly realizing that the person selling it to me is making this much cheaper. So all the gears started turning in my head, and I finally did it. I made a TikTok shop early 2022 under my own name. Didn't sell a product. Just realized, though, by making how easy it was to get started. So, yeah, once the ban was lifted and I had production underway, right, I had to figure out how to sell it. And I started with in-person sales and working a job. And eventually I kind of realized like I should just jump in all the way and make this thing successful. So I started growing a social media account, which was Instagram at the
Yeah,
time. I was posting to no audience, and I slowly started to realize that as the views came in, there was a big open funnel to try to get people to see my products
right,
too.
yeah, yeah. So like some like closing remarks, like how much like kind of like growth did you see? Like how many followers, like how many views and everything? Yeah.
Year to year, it was definitely slow, but I mean, just this last month on Instagram, I think we finished up this month. This last maybe I'd say by October 26th, we hit 51,000 followers and 10 million views. And I consider that being like a type of guerrilla marketing where most of my content is just tailored with a link in bio and kind of just a slight push for whoever's reading and laughing at the meme to just go and check out our other stuff as
Right,
well.
yeah. Yeah, you got we're close up to time soon. But you got any like maybe closing like if someone advice for anyone or anything you got to say before the podcast ends? I guess I'll plug in the sponsor right now, but we're sponsored by the NRAA, whatever it was. And yeah, plug in your like your website link or something or like yeah, got anything to say? Yeah.
Yeah, I guess if anyone's on the edge of wanting to be their own boss, whatever your goal might be, jump in because I kind of guarantee that you might think you won't be successful, but you kind of will be if you give it your all. It's kind of difficult to fail if you're really, really trying to get it.
Right.
So I'd say jump in, give it 100% for a little bit of your time and see what happens.
Yeah. Yeah. Perfect, man. Yeah. Thank you for being on the podcast. Yeah.
Yeah, of course, man. You guys can find me at Astro Tactical on all platforms. On YouTube, X, and Snapchat, it would be at Astro Tactical TX Texas. Yeah. And of course, my website's astrotactical.com.
Yeah. Perfect, man. Yeah. Yeah. This is great. Yeah. I wish we had more time to talk, but yeah. Yeah, I gotta get going. Yeah.
Oh yeah, of course. I have crazy stories, but yeah, maybe you're a busy guy.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what do. Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, for sure, man. Thanks for being on, man.
Yeah, of course, man. A very prestigious honor.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
See ya. Thanks for joining and thanks for tuning in to the podcast. We'll see you next week when we talk about drugs.